Well, we got some big news from Cedar Point today, December 14th. They announced basically all their special events for the next year, for 2023. Mm-hmm. They went over a whole laundry list of special events that they do. Now, a lot of them are similar or the same, pretty much the same events that they do year after year. But they did the official announcements for them. One quick thing that I noticed, not on this list, they didn't announce Cedar Point Nights.
No, they did not.
And I assume Cedar Point Nights is popular enough where they're not going to get rid of it, but it hasn't been officially announced yet. What Cedar Point Nights is basically just they open up the beach late at night, late summer.
Yeah, and they have all this music and lights and stuff, a DJ, dancing. It's really fun.
Yeah, it's one of our favorite events of the year. So we really hope they haven't gotten rid of that, and I doubt they have. It's just not listed on here. Now, they have some things like opening day. I mean, May 6th, that's been known for a while. They announced their Frontier Festival. Frontier Festival runs from May 25th to June 18th. And that is, I think, probably one of our least favorite events because basically all it is a big food tasting event.
Yeah, it looks really nice. And it is, like, it's very popular. There's lots of big lines.
Well, one of the reasons that I don't like it is because it's not food that we can eat. And they seem to pull workers away from the normal restaurants and man all the booths with them. So a lot of the restaurants that are normally open throughout the year seem to open later in the year because of this event. Now, I could be wrong, but it just seems very coincidental that when that event starts to wind down, then all of a sudden some of the other restaurants start opening up. So who knows? Another event that they announced is June 2nd, Coastermania. Now, last year was the first year that Cedar Point didn't require any club memberships. So Coastermania is essentially a coaster enthusiast event. At least that's what it used to be. You get ERT, like extended ride times. For all the rides, you get like a boat ride and you get behind the scenes tours and that. And you used to have to be a member of like, ACE, American Coaster Enthusiasts, or some other coaster enthusiast club. And last year they got rid of that, and I looked through this and it doesn't say anything specifically about it. So I have no idea if they're going to require a membership. The way Cedar Point seems to work, once they do something, they seem to kind of stick with it. So my guess would be that you do not have to be a member of any coaster club to get into Coastermania this year. Another event that they talked about is Light Up the Point. That's their July 4th. That's basically just fireworks that they do every 4th. Yeah. They stay open until like midnight. I think it's like one of the only days of the year now that they stay open till midnight. Years ago, they used to stay open till midnight more regularly during the summer, like the heart of the summer hours. Halloweekends, September 14th through October 29th. Now, I did notice that they brought back Thursdays and all-day Fridays. Now, in case you don't know, Halloweekends before a couple years ago. So 2021 was the first year that they said, okay, we're going to allow Thursdays and all-day Fridays, because before that, it was Friday nights and then all-day Saturday and then Sundays up until like 8 or whatever o'clock at night. And they added the Thursdays, and at that time, we weren't really sure if they were going to
keep it.
Yeah, I was hoping they would. And then last year they kept it, and then it's like, okay, it's looking like they're going to keep it. And now this year, so it looks like Thursdays and all-day Fridays will be a permanent thing, at least for the foreseeable future for Halloweekends. They have one more event, and that's the big one here. And I want to say big one because this is the one that had the biggest change, and this is the one that the event that seems to have grown the most over the past couple years. Now, we're talking about Winter Chill Out. Now, everyone over the past few years, for some reason, have been freaking out over Winter Chill Out. It became like one of their most popular events. So it was one day at the end of February, they would do a special event where no rides were open.
Mm-hmm.
You would get to go in and get a lot of behind the scenes, and they would do like a Q&A where they would answer a few questions and give you some like not huge news for the upcoming season.
Just very vague or small news.
Yeah, small news. And everyone for the past couple of years, you've heard a lot of people online saying that they got locked out of tickets because they went on and they had tickets in their cart, but the system crashed or whatever. That never happened with us.
Mm-hmm.
We got tickets when we wanted. And last year we were actually going to go get tickets, but I put in the wrong code for my credit card. And I was like, wait, what happened? Why didn't we get tickets? And I'm like, oops, I put in the wrong code. And then by the time I realized, then it was sold out by that point. So that was my fault, not the system's fault. So what Cedar Point did this year, now the biggest news here is Winter Chill Out went from 1 day to 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
Winter Chill Out 2023 will be February 25th and 26th. That's a Saturday and a Sunday. And it runs from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. So they'll have their time slots like 9 a.m., like a certain group of people will come in or whatever. And then, but either way, that's not the important stuff. The important stuff is that it's 2 days and the fact that they're moving to a lottery system. Now, what they're going to do is January 9th, they're going to open up this lottery system where you can go in and put in your name in order to win the right to buy tickets.
Mm-hmm.
And you can go on all the way up until January 13th to try to win these tickets. In between the 9th and 13th, you'll have a chance to win the right to buy tickets. And what they'll do is they'll email you and say, okay, here's our link and go on and buy tickets. What they're saying is that this is a way to alleviate the stress of trying to be on right away, first thing in the morning. And I don't know how I feel. I personally like first come, first serve.
Yeah, it makes it not necessarily more, I don't know, for the people that really want to go, you would have to be there right away. And sure, it can be hard if you can't go, or if you can't be on the website right when you want to buy tickets and you do really want to go. So I guess that's why they are making it a lottery, so anyone has a chance.
And they've had a lot of people complain. Like I said, people would have tickets in their cart and then all of a sudden the system would crash. And I would understand if that happened to us. Mm-hmm. I would be pretty upset as well. So maybe this is for the best. It looks like they're going to try it out. And I don't know if they're going to keep this going on for year after year. But it is a charity event. Most of the proceeds go to... Now, one thing I did notice that they said most of the proceeds in the blog, the Tony Clark blog or whatever, it said most of the proceeds. And I remember in the past, they used to brag about 100% of the proceeds go to a kid again. And it's a charity that helps children in like sick children and that. So it's a great charity and a great thing for your money to go to if you are going to the event. But I'm wondering if, because they're doing 2 days, I wonder if they're going to have some expenses.
Probably.
Maybe they're going to try to recoup some of their expenses.
Yeah.
So it did specifically say most of the proceeds go. I don't know how people feel about that. I know when it comes to charities, people like their money to go to one thing. But I would understand that if they can ultimately bring in more money through an extra day, but they have to take out a little bit of money to recoup some of the costs for anything. And they give you lunch during it. And like I said, they do a Q&A. And they usually give you a little gift like this Snake River Expedition hat that we got at the 2020 Winter Chill Out.
Yeah.
And
why is it 2 days? Is it because it's going to be more popular? Because people are going to really want to go because of to look at Top Joe Dragster and look at the boardwalk and stuff. So they have some changes that people are going to want to see.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if those big changes, like people are going to want to see what track has been put back on Top Joe Dragster, if it's been announced, if the new reimagined Top Joe Dragster is announced by that point, or if they go ahead and announce it at?
I think it would be more fun for them to announce it after Winter Chill Out. Like, I mean, they're not going to announce it during, but I think announce it after.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Maybe they would announce it, like maybe throw.
I mean, maybe. I mean, it's not going to
around.
be that big of a thing because I don't think they're going to make it too big of a thing. But it would be fun for them to, maybe announce it either at or after Winter Chill Out, because then you could look at it and maybe see some changes with it, and then people can speculate even more, because it's fun when you see big changes of something, but you still don't know what it is.
And then you'll get to see Boardwalk as soon as the park closed for the season. The construction walls came down, so you can see everything going on. So you'll be able to get mostly into that area. I guess it depends on how much is torn up.
Mm-hmm.
They might limit that area a bit because there's probably going to be a lot of construction still going on, so you might not be able to fully get in that area. So yeah, I don't know if they're expanding it because they're anticipating a larger group because of what you said, all the changes that are going on, or if they're just looking back in the past couple of years and saying, okay, it's gotten really popular, so we have to do this regardless of what changes are going on in the park. And that's it for the special events. Cedar Point 2023. Lots of them. And we always said that one of the reasons that we love Cedar Point so much is because they almost, from opening till close, almost have a special event going on at all times. At the end of the year, it's Halloweekends. Soon after opening, it's that Frontier Festival.
Mm-hmm.
They do all sorts of
stuff during the winter time,
the Cedar Point Nights during the summer.
Yeah.
And one thing, really quick, that I just thought of that we talked about during our production meeting before the video, that what did they call it? The Wild Frontier Nights.
Mm-hmm.
The Wild Frontier Nights was a special upcharge event that they did last year, and from what I understand, there weren't a ton of people at these events.
Yeah.
So I don't see that listed on here either as one of the special events that's going to be going on. So it'll be interesting to see if they bring that back.
Probably not, because I did hear that it wasn't super popular because it was like super expensive.
Yeah, it was like $100 starting. And what Wild Frontier Nights was they closed off the back area by Maverick and Steel Vengeance, Frontier Town. They closed that off, and it was, I think, 21 and over or something, because they served alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like this whole big event that they had special shows, and they had ERT for Maverick and Steel Vengeance. So you could pay for the right to ride, get ERT nights and stuff like that. So I don't see that on here, and like we said, it wasn't that popular last year, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's not going on.
Yeah.
But that and Cedar Point Nights are the two things that we don't see on here that we know have been events in the past. So stay tuned for that, and if you enjoyed this video, like it, subscribe to the channel, and then comment down below.
What do you think about all this stuff? Comment whatever.
Yeah, just give us a little hint on what or not a hint, but tell us what events you seem to like most at Cedar Point.
Yeah.
And that's about it for this video. So we'll see you guys next time on Beach Cliff Studios.